I'm just finishing up the bottom of my trench where my footings are going to set. Typically, if you're going to do a circular footing, you would just bend it as you go and nail it or screw it to a stake. But the way I built this one is it's in one piece, and I'm going to set it in here, and then I'll backfill behind it, stake it in place, and then start pouring concrete today, I hope, weather permit. You can see I'm getting some use out of my grading rod to get the bottom of this, so when I pour, the cement will be even with this footing that's already here. It's kind of hard to do it in 2 steps, but I had to do that to realize where the last block would come before the curve starts. I figured out a way to get around my issues with the centimeters instead of inches. Let me tip this up. I found a 12-inch wooden ruler, and I'm using that. I'm setting it on top of the existing footing, and I've got a mark. The line is right at 7 inches. The footing I built is 6.5 inches tall, so I set this at 7, and I want to keep my line at the 1/2 inch mark. That way, if it goes off the end of this ruler and it gets into this red area, it's really hard to see the line, and it shows up so nice. Let me find the line. It shows up so nice on the polished aluminum. I hope you can see that. But once you get it into the red, it disappears. So I'm not really sure why they made that red. I wish they would just leave the whole thing in polished aluminum, and their 0 mark is where you would typically set your laser line, and then the plus side means you have to dig deeper. The minus side means you're a little too deep. So I'm going to run up in the shop and get my form that I have built. I'll carry it down here and set it in place, get it shored up exactly where I want it, and drive some stakes in and screw them in. And then hopefully today, weather permitting, I can pour some cement. So once I get the mosquitoes are driving me nuts. Once I get the form in, I'll come back and show you what that looks like. And we'll go from there, I guess. I like my new shirt. More to come on this. It's a very comfortable shirt, and in warm weather, like I wore it a few times about a month ago when I was in the mid to high 80s, it really does keep you cool even though it's long sleeve. I really like it, and like I said, upcoming videos I will talk more about this nice shirt. So I'm going to pause you, go get my form and try to get that in place, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to carry this by hand, and I can look at the screen and see what you're looking at. Now this is the form that I got in here, and it's actually wider than this opening. This opening is overlapping the back of the form by 2 inches. And what that's giving me, let me get down in here, that's giving me this lip right here. That's 3/4 of an inch below the top of the footing. And that is for the blocks to grip onto. That's for this lip on the blocks to go down and grip onto the footing so they don't just slide forward. So now all we got to do is get that in place. Where's my, might as well check it now and see what it looks like and get down in here without stepping on it. Sorry it's awfully shaky, but that's just the way it is. Now we're going to set this on the top of this. And I'm at, I don't know if you can see that, but where is it? Too close? That's at 7 inches, right up here. So we want the top of this form. This isn't easy. I need a cameraman. We want the top of this form at 7 inches. And we're low, so we'll bring that up when we stake it. Same with that side. It's got to come up just about an inch. We'll check it halfway. Well, line ain't gonna show because I'm in the middle of it. There, well, where is it? This is terrible. That's got to come up about a ½ inch. The rest of it is pretty much, I can't get where I'm not in the way of the laser. Let me kneel down. There it is. That's right on 7. I'm in the way of the laser again. That's right on 7. You can see the line there. So I just got to raise the back without falling. I just have to raise the back of the footing or the form up about an inch when I stake it in. I don't know how that happened. It zoomed in on me somehow. There. And I got the front of the form that actually fits over the end of this so it'll stay where it's supposed to be. I don't want it to shift when I start dumping concrete in there. And I do have re-rods to put in. If you look real close, you can see a piece sticking out of this footing right there. So now we'll get that staked up, and when I get that done, I'll be back. Okay, I just finished up with putting in the forms. You can see I'm still using my level. Get everything shot in right where I want it. And there's the forms. I got the re-rod in. At one spot right there, looks a little high. I'm gonna have to tap that down. But last time I did this on this straight section, I had a hard time keeping the re-rod where I wanted it. So this time, I'm over here and pick one of these up. This is what I made. I just made a long T out of a piece. As you can see, I drove them in the ground and set the re-rod on top of them and zipped them together. And now I don't have to worry about it moving around on me when I dump the cement in. That's next. We're on our way to Menards. Pick up 10 bags. I don't think I'll need that much, but I'll grab 10 so I don't run out. This from here over to the wall is 10 bags exactly. And that weighs 600 pounds. So, I don't know, I'm guessing I'll probably need 6, maybe 8, but like I said, I'd rather make a trip and return it than to run out. So I'm going to take some more of these little trees out of here. They grow up, they're going to be too close to the house anyway, just like this one is. And I'm constantly cutting branches, as you can tell. You see a bunch of stubs up there because the limbs grow over and touch the roof, and it just makes a wonderful bridge for all the ants to climb up on the house. So when I get the cement mixed and I start pouring, I'll be back. Okay, we're back out here, but it's the next day. Things got a little late last night or yesterday, and I didn't want to start pouring and be out here in the dark. So I waited till this morning. Got it poured in. Everything's level the way it should be. And did you notice a mistake I made on the previous segment when I put the wooden ruler on my grading rod and it said 8 and I thought it was too low? Actually, it was too high. I had to lower it an inch. And that's where it comes in nice on the grading rod, where they have the 0 mark and plus and minus numbers, because it is a little confusing. So I had to take the form out and scrape out another inch of dirt on the one end and put it all back together. The re-rod is in there and in place, and in about 3 days I'll pull the forms off and start setting blocks. I think what I'm going to do is start hauling blocks down here, because I'm going to need a whole bunch of them. And as I start building the wall up, I'll shoot a little video and show you how it's going. So I guess that's all for now. Well, I got my blocks down here, all of them that I have, and I'm going to need to buy a bunch more. I loaded up 24 of them at a time in my little plastic trailer that I pull behind my Ingersoll garden tractor, and that was 575 pounds. I don't know what them little trailers are rated for, but I'm not really sure it's that much. This is going to be shaky again, sorry. Now I got in 6 rows. I'm going to go at least 3 more rows and see what it looks like. I wanted to go all the way up to the black. That's what's supposed to be buried in the ground, but this is a walkout basement. And they say you shouldn't go over 4, maybe 5 feet. Well, I put a footing in. That should help. I guess maybe I'll do it and see what happens. This is a curved footing. I just took the forms off tonight. It's about 3 days later after the last segment. And if you look close, you can see the step on the back of edge of the footing. And that's also on the straight section. You can see it there. That is for this lip to hook onto, so the block doesn't slide off the footing with all the weight behind it. So we'll try it and see what happens. Like I said, I'm going to go up about 3 more rows. Then I got to start cutting probably most every block to make it fit that curve. I should have, right in this section, almost fell down the hill, right in this section here, I should have made it straight instead of just a complete curve. Then I could have went into the hillside with the blocks. You don't need a footing, but as tall as this was going to be, I thought it'd be the best way to do it. Over there, I'll just start digging into the hillside, and I'll do it the way I did the rest of my walls. I use footing blocks, and I position them in there so they're level and flat, and then I start stacking on them. The hardest part is getting this started. getting your first row in so it's straight and level. And that's about it. There's my forms I just ripped off. I have to throw them in a truck and take them down to the shop and throw them in the dumpster. Oh, let's walk around and look at the rest of these walls that I built for the wife. And as you've seen in other videos, I bought my own saw. You gotta have a saw to keep them lines lined up. You can't just pile the blocks because it just don't work out like that. That's a little 7-8 foot circle for the bird bath. This is a wall here. This wall was 3 blocks high, but then they came in and did our new driveway, and the wife says, you know, it'd be nice to have a sidewalk down here. So there went a block and maybe a little bit on the bottom of this row, buried in concrete. This is what we call the egg. It is in shape of an egg. And these 2 little blurps down here kind of look like feet. Maybe you could even stand this thing up. And this is the other wall I put in to try and hold back the dirt to keep it away from the steel on the building. And you see I've already got my stones covered up with tarps because of the leaves coming down. Well, this here is 9 blocks high, and then it goes down behind the building until the ground runs off and levels out a little bit. I gotta spray all this stuff next summer, kill all this moss. There you can get a view down the side of it. Oh, we ain't done yet. This is why I bought my own saw. Then we got a big wall in front of this building. I certainly wish I would have had my laser when I did this one, because I started here. This is the lowest part. That's where you want to start. And I worked this way down the front of the building. And when I got to that very end, because I was using a level, I was using a 6-foot level, I was 1.25 inches low. So I tore it all out and started over. I wasn't going to, but the father-in-law was helping me and says, you know, you're not going to be happy with this. And you can see some of my lights are broke. I've got to replace them this year. It's going to be a busy year. And this end wraps around and lines up with the sidewalk. And that's about, well, no, it's not. Good grief, I got another one over here. Actually, I got 2 more over here. I figure I have about 5,000 blocks in this yard. Here's a round for the bird bath and the angel trellis. And that comes off the front. And then we have this one. And again, when they poured the sidewalk, I told them where I wanted it to stop. So these blocks are actually sitting on the sidewalk with the lip overhanging the back side. So they're not going anywhere. But that's it. Fun, fun, fun. When I get some more blocks laid down there and start going around that corner, I'll shoot a little more video. Okay, this is going to be another little bit of an educational video. I've got my load handler in the back of my truck, but if you look close, you can see something's wrong with this. It's still working pretty good. I had to shovel some of the sand out because this is only rated for 2,000 pounds. And if you look close right here, the bar's too short. This was bought for my Ranger 35 years ago. So I said, you know, I wonder if they make a bigger one. So if you look right down here, this company is smart. Look right down here. There's a name and phone number. I just called them up. And I have a brand new 3,000 pound load handler. It'll be here Monday. The company's in Texas. So let's walk down here. Hopefully I won't fall down the hill this time. And I'll show you what we got done. I got the Ingersoll out. And that thing's got more power than I think my truck. There's my little trailer that I had almost 600 pounds of these retaining wall blocks in when I drove them around the house and piled them down here. Now I'm backfilling this. I've got 6 rows in. You can see there's nothing back behind it. If you're not careful, just kneeling up against this will move the blocks. So you gotta backfill it. I think from now on I'm just gonna go like 2 rows and backfill it. Because when you get this deep, it's hard for the sand to get all the way down in there by itself. But this is what we got going. We got 6 rows up. I think that'll look pretty nice. I still haven't decided if I'm going to go all the way up to where the black stops, or if I'm going to go up about 4 feet high, which is going to be about, I don't know, about here, I think. Then I'm going to step back about 4 feet and then put another wall up to the black mark. And I have a terrace. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Because I think I'm going to post this tonight before I get too much farther and let you see how I'm doing. But I got a tarp on the ground so I can throw the sand on the tarp and it slides down and goes where I want it to go. Otherwise, they put all this busted concrete in here that I got to deal with. And to make it even worse, they poured cement and stuck it in that. So I'm just gonna bury it. I ain't taking all that out of there. It'll take less fill. So that's where we are. This is where this part, I gotta get so the glare from the sun is gone. That's dead ends right there into that bank. I think the next couple of rows, I'm gonna come around and go straight into the hill, and it will look like it goes all the way to the bottom, but it'll just be sitting on all that dirt. It's all virgin sand. It's been sitting there for, oh, I don't know, 40 years or better. So it's pretty solid. I don't have to worry about that. So I guess we'll finish dumping all this fill in here, get it packed down a little bit. You notice I got some pipes out here. Got one here, one there and there. That is to take measurements from the wall over to the pipe so I can make sure that's not moving at all as I pack that sand in. It should be pretty solid sitting on that footing the way I did it. I never put a footing in before under a retaining wall. So I guess I'll upload this tonight and keep doing some updated videos as I get 3 or 4 more rows on and come around here and come up into this hill. Basically, I'm doing this for maintenance. So there's no way I can get up a ladder on that, up to the roof, sitting on this hill. And as you look close, one of my wires are hanging down. You can see a loop right there. Well, I can't get up there with a ladder to fix it. And the way this idiot built this house, I have to have wires on there to make some drainage channels through the ice, because I'll get 6 inches or better of ice dam built up on the roof because he didn't know how to insulate a house. So I guess that's it for this video, or all the segments of video. And like I said, I'll do some more and put them on later. So until next time, work safe, have fun, and I'll talk to you soon. So long.